Welcome back, True Seeker. It was just brought to my attention that today, Thursday, October 19th, 2017, the world's largest earthquake drill was performed. It's called the Great Shakeout, and it's a tradition that began in Southern California, an area known for having a lot of seismic activity. And traditionally, this drill is done on October 19th at 10:19 in the morning. Just think about it. On 10:19 at 10:19 in the morning. Who began this tradition? Why? Why on 10:19 at 10:19 in the morning? See, a lot of people don't understand how I figured out the code that I figured out in 2013. And what I don't understand about myself is why I didn't figure this code out about 10 years earlier. What I observed from September 11th, 2001 until the day I figured out the code is how numerologically oriented the news was. I can't tell you how many times in my life I'd watch a news story and it'd be 47 people killed in bombing, and then the next story would be 47 pounds of cocaine, uncovered here. And then I'd flip over to the ESPN and they'd be talking about, an achievement of 47 games. And I'd think, wow, did I just see 47, 47, 47? And then, next day the free newspaper is delivered to me and I open it up and then 47's right at the top of the article. That really was the number that I saw more than any other number. And on September 11th, you guys, I was barely 18 years old and I just said, what a load of bullshit this is. They're blaming this on a man in a cave, a national emergency, on 911. Not long after that, I figured out that 911 was made the national emergency dialing code the same year World Trade Center construction began, the same year Bush graduated from college. It's just so obvious that we're living out an agenda and numbers are crucial. I mean, this stuff happens all the time. I am so miffed at how few people recognize this when it couldn't be any more obvious, especially when I've been here since 2013, really spelling it out clearly and showing people just how scripted it is. This tradition, the Great Shakeout, anytime the media emphasizes words like that, every time, there's no exceptions to this, anytime the media emphasizes words, there are numbers behind those words. There is a practice that goes back to Babylon, known as gematria, or gematria, or gematria, however you want to call it. The practice of coding numbers behind letters is ancient, and it's biblical. It comes from something called Kabbalah, which is from Babylon, which is important to the Bible. The entire Bible is constructed on this code. That's why God speaks the world into existence through language. The belief of Kabbalah is that God created the world with language by merging the letter with the number. That's why my book that's about to release is simply called Letters and Numbers, to make the point abundantly clear. And I talk about this in the book. Anytime the media emphasizes words, there's a reason. This tradition began in California, as it states in the article. The Great Shakeout, an annual earthquake drill that started in Southern California. Look at this. Great Shakeout equals 52. So does California, and so does Earth. What shakes in an earthquake? And as I always remind people, this nation had an underground weapons testing program for 4 decades, more than that, planting nuclear and atomic bombs underground and detonating them. And for God knows what reason. Well, we do know what reason. As I've been showing you, earthquakes happen numerologically in this world by the same code, and it's not hard to see who's doing it. I'll remind you, on September 11th, those buildings turned into dust. Steel disappeared. What did they call the site after the towers fell on 9/11? They called it Ground Zero. There was only one definition for Ground Zero before September 11th. If you look now, the second definition is the site of 9/11. Before that, there was only one definition, and that was the place above or below ground that an atomic or nuclear bomb detonated. We just saw Mexico City rocked 32 years to the day of the massive earthquake that killed thousands. 32 years to the day. Who wants to guess what the word bomb equals using the alphabetic order? That's what English ordinal is. 32-year anniversary of a massive quake in Mexico City. Boom. Another one. You know why? Because bombs went off. If you saw what happened that day before the earthquake, the president of the nation, he warned people to practice for an earthquake, reminding of all the lives lost 32 years earlier. And then hours later, massive earthquake that hurt a lot of people. My dad, he has been in a relationship with a woman from Mexico City for almost 10 years now. My dad, he never takes any vacations. The only vacation he's taken in the last 20 years was about 2 years ago now. He went with his girlfriend down to Mexico City, and he said he's never felt more lonely because everybody was speaking Spanish and he doesn't speak a word. But anyway, the people that he went down to visit, their home is now rubble. A lot of people lost their homes in the most recent earthquake, you know? So that's what my dad's girlfriend's now doing, trying to send her money. She hardly makes anything. She works in a freezer all day. My dad's always worked in the meat industry. That's how he met this woman. You know, he felt bad for her. You know, she was in a relationship. Her husband was cheating on her. He left her. And then my dad, being the nice guy that he was, started taking her out and being nice to her. And then they ended up in a relationship. Anyway, her family in Mexico City and a lot of other people completely devastated. They lost everything with this most recent earthquake. This is what it's about. Destroy and rebuild. You know, hurt poor people. Poor people don't have the resources to come back. You know, displace people. Get rid of people. This is a real agenda. And this agenda is going to be upon more and more of us if we don't wake up the people of the world. It's very clear who does this. Gematria is a Jewish practice. Pretty much exclusively. Who controls your media? You know? It's exclusively controlled by Jews. They are very about numbers. And what's sad is they say that this knowledge is too much for the Goyim, which is a non-Jew, and they're right. Because I've been explaining this to people, and people come here and attack me and say how stupid it is and coincidental. I mean, how dumb do you gotta be to not get it at this day and age? Why the fuck is there an earthquake drill at 10:19 on 10:19? And if I gotta spell it out for you, what fucking numbers are in there? Is it 119? When the foundation shakes? Let me show you what the word foundation equals. The foundation, oh, it's also 52. Like, what do they call this thing? The Great Shakeout. But it's also 119. 119. And here, let me give you another one. Star of David, home of the false Jews. Let me give you another one. Orthodox, 119. You know? These people, they're controlling the mind's eye of the masses. That's what the all-seeing eye is about. Making sure that they're controlling the mind's eye of the masses. Got everyone doped up on sugar, fat, salt, alcohol, entertainment. Nobody cares about truth or knowledge. You know? Just going to work, slaving, paying the taxes. We got to wake up, man. We are going to experience the Great Shakeout. That's what I was saying in 2013 when I started this work. I said the next 9/11 is going to be a massive natural disaster that's blamed on Mother Nature when it's not Mother Nature. You know? Unreal. Unreal. 10:19 at 10:19. People still don't get it. Stuff makes me sick, you know? The people of Houston. And again, it's this number 52. I've been teaching about this number all year with unnatural disasters. I explained why Texas was going to get it Sunday, August 27th this year before it was underwater. That was the date with the 52 numerology, the 239th day of the year, which is the 52nd prime. Remember, flood is 52. Since 1952, world governments have admitted to being able to create flash flooding on command. It's chemistry. That was in 1952. We're in 2017. 52 years to the day of the Lynmouth flood, a town where people were killed because of a military experiment that they said went wrong. Bullshit, it went wrong. They did it on purpose. 52 years to the day later, the same area got it in the UK. There was just flash flooding in the UK on a date with 52 numerology. You know, Ireland just got it from that storm. This isn't 52, but Ireland just got it from the storm on a date with 63 numerology. That rare October storm. 63 numerology. Ireland got it 63. Sandy has this number as well. New York was flooded on the day leaving 63 days left in the year. Throughout history, it's most often 52, but they do everything by a code. There's other numbers, but this 52, this is the one that's large and in charge. And the fact that they put the same numbers in front of us, I mean, you don't even have to decode. Just looking at 1019 on 1019, everyone should be thinking about 911, 911, 119, 1019. Zero doesn't count in numerology. It just makes me sick, man. You guys understand that I gave up my life essentially to do this for the last 4 years and it hasn't spread enough? I mean, the book's about to come out and it might really spread. It might be time, but just there's been too much shit that has gone on in the last years that I fully exposed, called it out before it happened. I mean, I called out the date that Texas was going to flood before it flooded. I called out the date Florida was going to flood 2 weeks before it flooded. I said why Maria would destroy Puerto Rico the day it did. And I've been doing this over the years. I mean, more people need to know. There needs to be more outrage about this. There needs to be more people spreading the knowledge. You know, get in every forum there is. Whatever forum you participate in, just start posting this information. Get the word out everywhere you can. If you're not sharing this information, you're going to be part of the reason we get wiped out. I've explained the same thing since 2013. Silence. That's the worst thing you can do. Being afraid to speak out because people will mock you, that makes you a coward. All of these people who mock you are fucking retarded. That's not your fault if they mock you. You know? At least you tried. You know, there's that thing, there's no such thing as trying. Well, there is. At least you tried. It's better to have tried than to have just been silent because you were worried that somebody's going to say, oh, you're some crazy conspiracy theorist. You know where that term came from? Doing some research on that. It did come from the 60s. It came from right after the JFK assassination. By the way, he was assassinated on a date with 52 numerology. President equals 52, government 52, authority 52, White House 52. What 52 goes to is Kabbalah. That's the code. Based on the Tree of Life 52. The 10 Sephiroth 52. See, this is all Kabbalah. That's why this number's so special. The word death even has gematria 52. Doesn't that make sense? That's what it's all about. These people are killers. They maintain their authority by killing throughout history. This nation began out of a genocide. Again, you learn this code, you just start typing in words and observing like I did once upon a time. Genocide, 44. What's the word kill equal? 44. You know? The language is thought out. It's a mathematical code. The entire language is mathematics. It's undeniable. I didn't even know this was going on today. I just found out. But this is a big one. In case you missed my work on September 4th. On September 4th, I recorded the sky here in Washington State. And I learned something by recording it and uploading a video. The video no longer exists because Google deleted my channel. It's been deleted 9 times since June, but a lot of people saw the video. I recorded the night sky here. We had fires at the time. A lot of places had fires, right? A lot of places burned up this summer. September 4th, we had some wildfires up here. We'd had wildfires a month earlier. It made the moon oranger, more yellowish orange. September 4th, we had fires, and we also had something else going on. We had planes all day just spraying the sky to no wind. It was nonstop. I'd never seen so much spraying in my life. I even uploaded a video earlier in the day before the moon came out. I said, look at the sky today, you guys. I mean, look at what it looks like. I said, this is just crazy. You could stare at the sun, and it didn't even hurt your eyes. There was just so much stuff in the sky. It was more than smoke. It was smoke plus the spray. So that night when the moon came out, here, I got to pull one of these books out. I'm not exaggerating here. This is absolutely true. The moon was as red as the red part of this book. The moon was that red. I mean, it looked like the moon was bleeding. And I thought, oh my God, whatever the hell they sprayed in the sky today, it made the moon this red. In the Bible, there's talk of blood moons. And there's a few verses about eclipses, blood moons, and earthquakes. I said that night, I said, okay, you know, we know that they're following this biblical code, the Kabbalah. How long do we have to wait for the big earthquake? And I pointed out then, I said, we haven't heard news of a big earthquake for a while. I mean, earthquakes happen in this world. There's earthquakes every day. but we hadn't heard news of a big earthquake for a while. Then boom, it was 3 days later, September 7th. Big earthquake in Mexico. And if you watch the video I put out, I talked about the significance of 93, the number having to do with Saturn, judgment, keeper of time. The earthquake ended up being in Mexico on the 93rd meridian. And not only that, but Mexico has the gematria of 93. And then what happened right after that? Another big earthquake in Mexico on the 32-year anniversary. Because there's bombs in the ground, you guys. This is mad science being waged upon us, and we've paid for it with our tax dollars. And all of you who continue to shrug your shoulders and just go to work and pay your taxes, you're the reason we're all going to die. Or maybe we're not, but future generations are. You know, that's where they're taking us. They're taking us off the cliff eventually. And I'm not here to scare you. I don't live in fear. I'm not paranoid. I just see the direction of things, and I understand that if we don't stop it, this is what's going to happen. You know? When they don't need us anymore, and that day will come, you know, we're getting advanced with technology. When they don't need us anymore, they're going to really downsize. And they're already downsizing. That's why they attack all these poor areas with these man-made storms. From Houston to New Orleans, you know, to Puerto Rico, to Ireland. They pick on the poor people. And they do it all by the numbers. The great shakeout. So I don't have anything else to say right now. I'll just cut it off right here, Truth Seeker. Until next time.